bit of a surprise on the recruiting trail this week as Darius Acuff, the #1 point guard in the class of 2025, who had a Final Four list that included Michigan, Arkansas, Kansas, and UConn, has trimmed it to 3 and cut UConn. He has eliminated the two-time defending national champions. It's now Kansas versus Arkansas versus Michigan for the services of Darius Acuff in his presumably 1 year in college basketball. I'm very surprised UConn is the name that got cut off this list. I've said over and over again, I don't think Michigan is seriously being considered. I think they're trying to get him, but I don't think they have a chance. I still feel that way. I would have thought Michigan's the school that got cut here, not Dan Hurley. How surprised are you with the removal of UConn for Acuff?
I am a little bit surprised because, you look at an offensively gifted player like Acuff, and you look at an offensively gifted coaching system that Dan Hurley and Luke Murray have established over at UConn. You can see the fit there. With that said, like we come on every Darius Acuff video and kind of do this, but like everyone and their mother knows this is coming down to Arkansas and Kansas. So any other team is an afterthought.
Hey,
Sorry, it is. With that said, though, Gregory, I give you permission to tell Dan Hurley to ice up in this situation because you made the cut and he did it. You can do that.
I'm not going to do that. I have too much brain power to know not to do that. And Dan Hurley will take every good Michigan player for the next 10 years if I do that. Yeah, maybe I'm falling for it. You're right. It's Kansas versus Arkansas. Michigan's still here.
Hey, there's teams that aren't there, right?
Still here. Like he could have cut it to 2, right?
He definitely could have, yeah.
Could have cut it to 2, and maybe that's a content play, and he will cut it to 2. Like I said, I thought Michigan would be the first cut from 4. Honestly, I thought Michigan might have been cut before we got to 4.
Oh, but you're letting the spunky, you're letting Dusty and the boys hang around.
If you let the boys hang around, because here's where I'm at. Weird things can happen, right? You just want to hang in the game. Maybe you hang in the game long enough, you get to a point where, I don't know, Kansas signs somebody else. Kansas does some weird thing that's like, our point guard of the future is this guy because he was ready and he got there. I don't know. I'm not saying that'll happen, but weird shit happens. Maybe Arkansas has something happen where it's clear that like Boogie Fland and DJ Wagner are going to return. Who knows? There are worlds here where Arkansas and Kansas end up not looking as rosy 3 months from now as they would to the #1 point guard in the country because of situational changes. Here's one thing I know for sure, Cart. Darius Acuff doesn't have to worry about Trey Donaldson, does he?
No.
He doesn't have to worry about Roddy Gale, does he?
No.
That ain't changing. There isn't a player Michigan's going to bring in that's better than Darius Acuff. And I'm not saying there is with Kansas or Arkansas either, but we have seen that happen with schools before where like all of a sudden something flashes and it's a different proposal than it was in the first place. So I'm not trying to talk myself and be naive and say this is going to happen, but I'm happy Michigan like is still involved because you never know what's going to happen with schools like Kansas and Cal University.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a thing. And especially like you pointed out, Arkansas, I see a clear thing like how one of the guys comes back. The only thing that's in favor for Kansas is that like after this year, their guard rotation is kind of just cleared out. Like it'll be Acuff and Acuff only, unless they make a move in the transfer portal. Honestly, it would have been beneficial for Michigan to have UConn in here because like what if they got like an early commitment from an Acaden Lewis or something like that? That would have, kind of cut out the dogs. But yes, if I was a Michigan fan, I wouldn't feel good about Darius Acuff coming here, but I would be at least happy that I'm in the room because God forbid something happens. Like I'll be the rebound. I'll be the fallback plan. I'm here for you, Darius.
3 quotes on his 3 remaining schools. Tell me, stack rank these for that's big. Like that's a good quote. How much it matters. Kansas. Bill Self speaks for himself. He's a legend. They're one of the winningest schools ever. Arkansas. Just how Cal coaches his guards. All his guards go to the league. You see it every year. Michigan. Hometown school. It's a great school, a great campus. It feels like home. Dusty lets his guards hoop.
Like the Dusty lets his guards hoop shout. That screams Arkansas to me. Get me to the
Oh,
league.
basically, legend winners versus league me legend versus home. Let's hoop.
If he wanted to be home, let's hoop. He just would have stayed home. He left. He left Michigan.
Maybe he's a little homesick.
You ever found yourself homesick from Michigan?
I like the home let's hoop pitch, Cart. I like it. I would not like it if it was just home, but home turned let's hoop. I like that. He also gave a quote on UConn, which was fascinating as he eliminated them. Said back-to-back national champs. That speaks for itself. They're one of the best, if not the best team in the country. But I probably won't be considering them on commitment day. Why?
What? They have somebody else?
You want to actually know why?
Why?
With all due respect to Darius Acuff, who I pray is my future point guard, he don't want to deal with Hurley.
You think?
I feel this is like that I don't want to. That's my read on this. Like, why this program's so great? There's an opportunity at point guard, but yeah, I'm out on that. Why? Because you don't want to actually be coached by the greatest coach in the game right now. You just want to go to Cal and give him freedom and go to the league, like,
Or he doesn't want his coach to leave him for the Lakers.
or that. But to me, there's a big difference between guys who are just like there and they want freedom and to just be there and get some money and go to the league versus guys who like want to go through the fire of playing for Dan Hurley and win. And apparently Acuff's not that guy. I'm very surprised by that, but this feels like he's a Cal guard, not a UConn guard, clearly.
Yeah.
I'd rather be a UConn guard than a Cal guard, personally.
I think I'd rather be a Cal guard.
That fits our personalities pretty well.
Yeah, kind of.
Cart, you know what I love about you?
That I'm handsome?
You're reliable. I can count on you. You know, honestly, you remind me of Aaron Henry a little bit. Remember when, like, you know, their back was against the wall, nothing was going right, and man just showed up every day. He didn't make excuses. There were no problems. There were just solutions.
Sounds like me.
That's you. And it also reminds me of Duncan Mechanical Solutions, because if you're looking for quality furnace repair, look no further than the heating and air experts that you can trust. Comfort and quality are their standard. They're an HVAC company that serves Northeast Indiana and Southern Michigan, whether it's heating and air conditioning, plumbing, kitchen and bath remodeling, or emergency services when you need them most. Duncan Mechanical Solutions has reliable service that you can count on. Cart, remember when your basement almost exploded?
I remember when my basement almost exploded. I remember when my furnace itself was acting funny. I remember when my AC was acting funny. I wish I had Duncan in my back pocket. I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been anywhere in northern Indiana or southern Michigan that hasn't been perfectly cool or perfectly warm, depending on when the day called for. And that's because of Duncan Mechanical Solutions. They are the presenting sponsor for the month of July. Shout out to Duncan Mechanical Solutions. Go to duncanmechanicalsolutions.com to learn more.